Good evening. Welcome. This is Peter McFarland, Chair of the Norwood Sustainability Commission, and I'm calling the June 15th meeting, 7 o'clock. Actually, it's 7:11 p.m. to order. And we'll just go through a quick introduction. As I said, I'm Peter McFarland, the Chair. Joe. Joe, you want to introduce yourself and you can
Yes, sorry. I'm Joe Collins. I'm the one of the budget management analysts for the town, and one of my jobs is helping out with the Sustainability Commission with a wide variety of tasks, including helping them out with developing the Sustainability Action Plan.
Okay.
Heather Miller. I'm a member of the Sustainability Commission.
David Ruggiero. I'm a member of the Sustainability Commission. I'm proud to announce I'm also the energy manager for the town of Norwood.
Mark Fadrani, just a member of the Sustainability Commission.
Emily.
I'm Emily Shea. I'm also a member of the committee, the commission.
And I'll introduce Jen Maltese. She can go more into what she's doing, but she's going to be working with us in the future. So she can explain a little bit about her proposal, I guess, lack of a better word, and working with the outreach subcommittee. We've had some brief conversations about it. So, Jen.
Sure. Thank you guys for having me. So my name is Jen. Just to give you a little bit of background, I was the director of education for Zoo New England. So I worked there for 11 years. I was the director for 3. So I'm really interested in working with the Education and Outreach Commission. But I am also a PhD candidate in environmental studies from Antioch University. So I actually left my job at the zoo to focus on my degree and getting that finished. And I'm trying to find a project. I initially started on conservation biology, and I've kind of shifted my focus to behavior change for sustainable action. So I was really hoping to kind of partner with you on either projects that you guys are working on, or I have some ideas for things that we could do in the town. So I was just hoping to kind of work with the commission and kind of work to make a project that helps everybody in the town of Norwood, what aligns with what the commission's working on, and also helps me get my degree done. So yeah.
Welcome. I did talk to Brian Dunn over the weekend, so they've had some exchange there. So as far as should be working with this education outreach subcommittee, and hopefully we can design something that come to fruition and be helpful to getting that word out on a mission and things that we want to get accomplished. So that will just I don't know, who's on, anybody on the education subcommittee that can speak for what's going on? I was expecting Brian, but since he can't attend.
Well, I have some good news, but I think I'll let, if Emily has anything to share, I'll let her go first.
No, I don't have any updates.
Okay. I think it was shortly after the last meeting in May. I think we talked about reaching out to Mark Ryan and DPW to see if they have any items that they could potentially donate for basically a prize for the one new thing campaign. So we actually got 4. Let me read them for you. We got. Okay, so 4 tumbler composters and 4 kitchen counter composters that we can give away as prizes. So I thought we'd maybe give 1 away a week. And Emily's up for it. I think we can get started on that. I can start sharing stuff on the town's social media platforms, probably either by the end of the week or early next week.
Okay.
How do the prizes work? Like, is it just like a random drawing of whoever posts, or?
I guess I should probably talk about
Yeah,
like
the original intent had been there was supposed to be an Earth Day event, and we were going to have a table and a raffle there. So that kind of, obviously, with everything that's happened, has changed. So we just need to come up with a new strategy for how to, get people to sign up and divvy out the prizes. So yeah, we just need to get back to that.
Okay.
I know one thing we did in order to educate the public about some new items that they could recycle when I was in Ashland, Virginia. We just had people tell us, what new item that they're recycling now in the comments section of Facebook or Twitter. And we take everyone who participated, put them in like a random drawing, and whoever we picked would get the item.
Okay.
That's great. People love winning stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay. Any update on the survey results?
I haven't looked at them recently, but no, tomorrow morning I can look at the results and send them out to everybody.
Okay. Solid Waste Subcommittee?
I don't think there's not any new updates, I don't think. I think
Not unless-
where we are is we need to write up the narrative for that section. I think we've got goals and strategies, but we need to work on the write-up.
Okay. Energy?
That would be me. Yeah, I've been updating the narrative for the energy section and sort of expanding the goals. So waiting for some feedback from the other members. I also, as I said, met with Dan Morrissey and Jimmy Collins today down at Norwood Light, and stole a few minutes to talk about the Sustainability Commission, what we're hoping to do, how to better engage businesses and residents. They were very receptive. They gave me some information, but basically a tour of the My Meter feature that the town now has. So if we wanted to help people better understand their energy use, it's a great little tool. They're looking to expand it. So some things that we include, they're looking to expand their electric vehicle support programs, their solar programs. But most importantly, what I came away with is the percentage of energy that they sell. It's very much towards the commercial and the industrial or light industry section. About 70% of their business comes from that sector. So as a commission, as an outreach plan, we really have to focus on that, perhaps more than residential if we want to see a reduction in energy use. That granted, there are more people, more residents than there are businesses, but I think we'll have to, education-wise and whatever planning that we do, should be focused on commercial and industrial as well. So a little bit of a education for me, and working its way into the plan. So,
Any idea how many commercial customers you're talking about as far as 70% of the usage, but how many commercial?
I think I wrote it down. Give me a minute.
I know as far as residents goes, about 12,500 is someplace in that range is how many residents, but I'm not sure if that's a breakout with commercial. It's not I don't know if that commercial is included in that number or not.
Yeah, it's, I mean, in a community of 30,000, I think the billing that goes out is around 3,000. So it was 1,400 commercial, residential, 1,700 residential accounts, I think. Maybe
Yeah.
700. Why am I thinking 700? I'll confirm that since I don't have it written down, just the percentages.
Well, I know when we did back in 2008, when we did the brought everybody on with the containers for, you know, the roll-on containers for single stream pick, you know, recycling and trash pickup, the mechanized barrels, so grab and dump into the truck. There was 8,500 residents that were hit that way, but that didn't include large apartment complexes. I think when the Civic does a mailing, like with their calendar, they do 12,500, and that includes apartments and just about any mailing address, residential mailing address, I believe. But I don't know where, you know, how many commercial. I don't think too many of the 12,005 is commercial. There might be some small, you know, kind of places that work out of the house and don't really pull commercial electricity, but I think that's a low percentage, but I have no idea. I would say 1,000, but I'm around 700 to 1,000, like be in that ballpark.
Okay. Yeah, Dan had quoted a number for both commercial and then what he had said was industrial, and had a very clear distinction. I'll confirm those numbers, and
Okay.
it will help us with our outreach. So.
Do we have any information about where the light department gets the energy from, or what, at least what types of sources?
So the makeup of.
Yeah, so for example, do we know like what percentage, if any, is from renewable sources versus fossil fuel?
I know they can get that for us. I know that they did do a green power purchase a few years ago. They will own all of the power coming off the MBTA station.
Mm-hmm.
If and when that ever gets turned on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that happening still?
Looks good.
It's happening, but I'm told it's happening slowly. So there are lawyers involved. You guys say more.
Yeah, I think it's more not involving the town as much. It's involving
yeah, it's been slow
the MBTA.
for the developer for the MTA. It's correct. So no, I don't know the makeup, but we can find that out. Would you like that in the narrative, or?
It might be interesting to know, especially if there would be opportunities to increase the percentage that is coming from renewable sources. So in addition to decreasing energy usage town-wide, if we increased the renewable sourcing, seems like we could improve on that end as well.
Right. Is there a has Norwood Light ever offered an option to its customers to buy green as a way of greening the grid?
Right.
I have not seen one.
Yeah, ahead of buying power for 2021, whatever that might be a possibility. So, all right. So let me write this down.
Yeah, I think it's something people might be interested in too, especially because there's been interest in people doing residential solar, but that's been very tricky. So maybe for people who would have been interested in solar, if they could make some decisions about at least where the energy that they're getting from the town is coming from, that might be another alternative.
All right.
Anything else for energy?
No, sir.
Okay. Public health. we really didn't meet, but I had written up some goals for public health, and Brian had done some too. So and there's there was an attachment to the agenda, if you guys saw it or not. One page.
Yep.
Stating the goal to maintain and improve the health and quality of life of all Norwood residents in a way that is sustainable and equitable. And then it goes into strategies. And there's 13 strategies, and we're working on that. But if you had a chance to review it, if not, please do. It's something with public health is, I was thinking about, when we were joining up on the commission last year, public health wasn't really on my radar. And now with the pandemic, it's kind of a lot different, as far as, the awareness that needs to be raised on it, and all the other issues that come about. I see Joe just put up, that is my draft. Brian had another, there's more to it. That's what I had contributed, and Brian had some more. I'm not sure if Brian put it up on the Google Drive yet or not, but he had just sent that to me over the weekend. So there's another version of that, which has 13, goes 1 to 13. That's all. So you guys can look that over. We can start going a little bit, same thing, develop more strategies, and then the narrative to go with it. So that's what the latest is on public health, unless anybody else has anything they want to add.
I think we mentioned this before, but it does seem like there's going to be significant overlap, especially in the public health piece, with a lot of the other subcommittees, which is good. But I think just explicitly drawing those connections will be helpful. So when we talk about energy, the energy subcommittee, decreasing energy usage, increasing renewable resources, tying that to like the greenhouse gas reductions and the public health benefits that that provides. I think it just makes all of these things stronger.
Yeah. I mean, instead of talking back into it, public health kind of talks out to it all. As far as all these, most of the things we do for sustainability will, have a positive effect on public health. So
that also has a lot, like that's this overlap there with the education outreach, right? Because that's what the education outreach is, teaching the public about sustainability and what our goals are. So we have to make sure that we're not duplicating efforts. Like there's things we want to have like overlap when that's good, but there's other times that we don't want to have two separate groups looking at the same thing. So if we're talking out to everything that we're doing on the public health group, then we're going to have challenges, with what is the education outreach, because that's exactly what they're doing. Is all the other subcommittees are going to be looking at the education outreach is really getting out to them. Here's what we're doing. So we have to make sure that we're not doing too much of the same thing in two different groups. Just that's my only thing.
okay. All right. And that resiliency. Any update on that?
No update. I think on that one, we also just need to work on the write-up. We've got the goals and strategies drafted already. It's just going to be tying it all together in the narrative.
Does anybody else have anything they want to add? As maybe not subcommittee talk or anything newsworthy?
I have a question. Or is the commission presenting anything for town meeting, or has that been
Not,
Put on
not,
hold.
not, well, this one here is, town meeting's supposed to be short and sweet. Just get to the point and take care of the, basically the budget to get it out, because technically it's supposed to be, it starts July 1st, but, as, as far as how that goes, it's, very narrow focus. Things that just have to be done. Some book, annual, well, I don't know, bookkeeping matters, and authorizations and of spending accounts, revolving accounts, and authorize the treasurer to borrow, things like that. And the town, and the most of it's going to be the article. That Article 4 is the, or motion 4 is the town budget. We got to go through all those line items to authorize. I don't know, it was about 13 motions in Article 4 to do all the whole budget. And the CPC's got 2 articles, and that's another one's authorizations and of allocation of money. But everything else is we're having a 3-article special that's going on with that too. But that's the same thing. It's just things that authorizing a zero interest loan from the MWRA to continue, working on the water lines, stuff like that. But there's nothing, everything has mostly been deferred, all capital has been deferred to the fall. So anything else, they just want to get this done with, and as fast as possible, so it doesn't, we're going to be all inside the gym, I understand, 6 feet apart, and so many people, I don't know how many people have actually, I mean, I know I'm going, but I don't know how many people are not going to attend, and I don't know if they came down with the exact what we needed for a quorum, because we don't need to have a majority like 125 or something like that. We can go to a 10 to 20% quorum, so we could have as few as 25 to 30 for a quorum, or up to 50 to 60, depending on it, if they do 20%. So that's just basically get it done, and not, and we'll do all the other stuff in the fall. So that's, we're not gonna, I'm not planning on doing a report. I have also, I have to speak on the CPC, so I get another speaking part too. So, but that's, we're just going to put everything off till the fall, and we'll focus then, get all our stuff wrapped up as much as we can. And I don't know if we'll have a complete report, but we'll have a pretty good showing, I think, for October. I guess it's going to be October. They think they want to have the special earlier than, sometimes we've had this late November and December. But I think unless Joe can speak on more about that, I don't know. That's what I've heard, and it's been told, but that's kind of not new information.
Yeah, I don't think anything's close to being set in stone, but I think, yeah, everyone should expect to have a relatively early fall town meeting, and maybe an additional one a little bit later in the fall, just because we're gonna have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So do we want to try to establish some timelines for the report, working back from an anticipated fall town meeting? I feel like that might help us to make some progress on some of the subcommittee work if we had a little bit more concrete timing, at least for me. If I
Well,
had some deadlines, I think I would get things done faster.
I'll throw out the date October 1st as a deadline, have everything ready by October 1st, because we'll, Joe, what's the, is it 30 days for or is it 3 weeks or something? Well, 3 weeks before they have to set the agenda for a special. They have to have the warrant done. Is it 3 weeks in advance? But they have to, is it 90 days do we go out usually on a special or something like that to schedule a special?
That sounds,
Actually, we can call a special at any time, but it's, you still need, there's still a 3-week time frame for the warrant to be issued, and so it can be publicized.
yeah, that's pretty close to me.
Yeah, so I wouldn't think, I mean, if we're doing the annual, I don't think that much is going to change by October 1st anyways, but if we're done by October, basically through most of it by the 1st of October, I think we'd be in pretty good shape for, making up report at least for the special in the fall. So that's what I would,
So would we want to have a first draft of the report by September 1st, August, just to give us some time to do some editing, maybe get some public feedback?
well, why don't we say a draft by August 1st and then finalize September, second draft September 1st, either 1st of August or 1st of September, and then try to get the report done by October 1st.
Because we have the drafting subcommittee too. So it seems like if the individual subcommittees could get their initial drafts together by August 1st, say, then the drafting subcommittee can do that and, make revisions for consistency and look for areas of overlap and all of that.
Okay.
I think you could, if you have a rough draft done by August 1st, I don't think you'd have much of an issue getting something adopted by the Board of Selectmen by the time town meeting meets again.
Yeah.
Joe, what would that be? Like, what would the Board of Selectmen adopt?
Well, they would be really the board that would want to adopt the actual plan and actually start seeing the implementation of it, or really using the plan to have town staff start to implement the plan or actually implement the objectives in the plan.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we necessarily wouldn't have to have it approved before town meeting by the selectmen, but we probably want to have a good draft of it done and maybe public hearing and then bring it to the selectmen after it's been vetted through, had review outside the committee, have a public hearing, and then after that, whatever changes have been suggested, and then go to the selectmen with, that copy of the plan and see what they, get their input. If there's anything else they want to have, if they think they need more, whatever, before, it gets finalized or before they'll approve it. So get their comments. So, but I think if we're pretty well, on that path by September 1st and, September and October, I think we'll have enough. Like I said, I don't think it has to be approved by the selectmen before town meeting. So it's just a matter of what, just get it in writing, get it in a format and make it look presentable and get feedback. We need public feedback before we bring in the selectmen too, so as far as that goes. They want to know what other people think about it too, so they want to hear something from besides us just presenting it to them. It would be good to have a public hearing on it. Any other questions about the plan? Okay. Welcome, Joe.
How you doing? Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We're almost done.
As long as you see my face.
Whoop, get the check mark for attendance. So next question is, when do we want to video chat again? I threw out, I think it's the third Monday of July is the 20th, and the third Monday of August is the 17th. Do you want so in those days to do another go-to meeting?
Did you say July 17th?
July 20th, August 17th.
Right, okay.
I almost said July 17th, but I didn't. It's not to come out that way, but it didn't. So hearing no objection.
Do we think there will be anything to report on for July, or should we maybe spend July working in our subcommittees and then meet again once we have a draft of the plan?
Well, it's kind of like, okay, do we wait for the subcommittees or do we give the subcommittees a deadline and to come back with something by July 20th? It's kind of like give everybody, the 4 subcommittees, a deadline. And hopefully they can meet within the next 30 days. And because if I say we go to August 17th, you know, who's going to, you know, I don't know. It's one of the other. If I
Well,
don't
I'll
give,
take the whole summer off.
if I don't give a deadline, then I'm waiting to hear, and then you know, so it works. You know, we go around and around on that because then, you know, one subcommittee doesn't meet, and then I don't know. I mean, these meetings aren't taking a lot of time. I mean, does anybody know for sure? I mean, I could say anybody going on vacation anywhere, but you know, most of our vacations are, you know, okay, it's time to go out to the backyard, walk around, and then come back in the house again. I mean, is anybody going, have a place to go? Have a destination besides Norwood for a vacation plan or anything? I mean, I don't know. I don't hear anything, so I'm just.
I'm okay meeting July. I mean, I think that it all comes down to what the subcommittees do, and whether or not we meet on the Monday, July 20th isn't going to impact the subcommittee's ability to do their job. So, you know, I'm getting ready to send some emails. Like, work is a little bit lighter now, so it's hopefully I'm around more. So, you know, I think we just got to get it done.
Okay.
Yeah, Peter, maybe if we just suggest that we submit a draft, each subcommittee submit a draft for the 20th. Force them to come up with something, force me, force everyone to come up with, you know, a draft document, and then in August, a more formal or more developed, because if we're looking at a September submission so that we can prepare for a town meeting in October, if I'm hearing everything properly, you know, I don't want to say force, let's just schedule, you know, a first delivery of a draft July 20th and let the subcommittees meet between now and then to flush them out.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, you know, I tend to work on these things the weekend before the meeting because Joe sends out the email. Send out more threatening emails, Joe, and then maybe we'll work a little bit harder. But I think that might spur people towards a greater effort. Get it done.
All right. Well, let's go shoot for July 20th. Everybody have all subcommittees do something, submit something. As far as that goes, try to get, you know, get farther down into the, if you have your goals, get your strategies, and if you have your strategies, get your narrative done, and then we can, are we all kind of staying to the same format? You know, as far as that, so it's kind of gonna look cohesive when we go through this.
Yeah, I know resiliency and energy are almost identical. Thank you, Heather. I just found that to be easy enough to follow and in line with what we talked about. So at least 2 of the subcommittees are using the same format.
I think solid waste as well. Yeah.
And I think they should, I'll post my latest version after this meeting to the Google Drive. And I'm assuming yours is on there as well, Heather. Everyone else should make an effort to put it there if it's not already there.
Okay. All righty. Well, I think that's the plan then. Everybody, you know, try to correspond with each other, get, you know, something done for the subcommittees, and then, you know, we'll work from there. I guess, unless anybody's got anything else, I guess we can call it a meeting.
Do you need a motion to adjourn?
I'd rather have somebody, yeah, I'd rather somebody say it besides me.
All right, I propose we adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
And a second by, somebody put the hand up and far. All right, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.